Hey, g'day guys, how you going? Gordon here with Guardians of Freedom. Listen, I just want to do a real quick video about something that's going to be very unpopular. It's called protesting, and for some reason, if you do a video about it or you talk against it, people hate on you. What I want to do is really get people to start thinking with their brains, and yeah, you guys in the freedom movement, stop being sheep. Okay, so I'm not the most lovable character. I know that. That's all right. I always say to people, don't follow me, follow logic. So don't judge me. Look at me. Go, oh, look at this bald guy. I hate this guy. Blah blah blah. He's too mean. Blah blah blah. He's not nice and blah. Doesn't matter. Just follow logic, guys. Right. So the logic is really simple, and I'll pull up my notes from the last one I did on protesting. I think protesting is awesome, actually, in a normal, or should I say, old world context. And what I want people to really understand is there's old world, there's new world, right? And you've got to understand who's behind the whole thing. With COVID, with the New World Order, with Great Reset, with Event 201, with all of these programs that have been put out. Okay, you've got to understand who's behind it. So I'll do a quick run through on that, and I'll do a whole nother video on that. So the quick run through is really simple, and the hard bit is, I think some of you guys out there know it, and so I can't understand why you're still banging up or barking up the wrong tree. You can bang up the tree too, but why are you barking up the wrong tree? Really simple. You're not dealing with Scotty or Dan or Anastasia or Berabliklian, whatever her name is, who's now Glonsky, and I can't even remember the new guy's name because it doesn't matter. Whoever the new guy is, he's the same. It doesn't matter. They're all just following orders. So you really got to look at it and understand who's behind it first, to understand what works and what doesn't work. And then you've got to understand their tactics, their strategies, and what they're looking to achieve and how they're going to achieve it. And then you got to look at like a chessboard, really, and how they're going to get to where they want to get to. Right? But you got to understand the opponent first. So it's very simple. If you go into a footy match, you study the other team, you look at their videos, look at their last matches and how they play. And if you can't do that, then well, sit down. To all you other guys out there in the leadership movement, sit down if you can't do it or you don't understand it, because you obviously don't if you're still pushing up this path. And I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's gotten to the point where these people leading this freedom movement have led people into getting jabbed, basically, by being unable to see the reality and essentially leading people into death. Yeah? Okay? I'll do a whole nother video on that, on the problems we face with people who have no idea and they're still trying to lead people. And I'll be naming people on that video because I'm tired of it. Now, essentially, again, understand who it is. Okay, so if we're not dealing with Scotty, who we're dealing with goes above that. So then people go, well, it's WHO, it's World Health Organization. Well, it goes above that. Oh, it's the UN. Okay, well, it goes above that. Oh, it's what's that nerd's name? Bill Gates. Yeah, well, it goes above that. Oh, it's Soros. Goes above that. Okay, it goes right above those guys. Those guys are nothing. They're little henchmen in the pyramid. Okay. People talk about conspiracy. Conspiracy can never exist. Oh my God. People have never banded together in the history of time to become more powerful or more rich. Of course they have, and it's still happening. And it's followed through from then to now. So, okay, let's keep going. So we've got Soros. We've got UN. We've got all these. We've got the World Bank. IMF. The reality is a conspiracy theory sitting right in front of us. I'll do a really fast run through of it. Well, reserve banks are private institutions, and they are called central banks, and they are owned privately. Okay, it's that simple. And these people have come in. They've been working at it for thousands of years to get into this position where they are now. In the last couple of hundred, they really managed to get a stronghold with the Bank of England first, Bank of France, and then they've started moving all the central banks throughout the nations in Europe mostly, and then they started moving out, and then they managed to get into the United States and into the Middle East, and then everywhere. Now, banking or money itself is not evil or anything like that. It's how they're running it, and really simple. For every dollar created is another extra amount created of debt. So work it out. So I lend you a dollar, there's another debt. How can you ever pay that back? It can't be paid back. That's the big problem with the system. It's a perpetual debt system, which means we now own you. Okay, you can't pay it back. Worse is that they're creating it out of thin air. Okay, now that's where it goes back to. Okay, so now start understanding who these people are, and I'll just tell you guys real quick. Check out a video called Money Masters, right, that explains a whole lot, very logically and also with references. This guy's done a brilliant job. It's called Money Masters. It's an old video from the 90s. Go check it out. There's another book called None Dare Call It Conspiracy. Go have a look at that. Okay. So really simple. It's been sitting in front of us. It's the central bank gangsters of the world, and that's what they are. They've always wanted this domination. I'm not going to get into all the religious side of things or whether they're satanic and blah blah blah. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Okay, they want to control everything and everyone. It's really that simple. Now, when you start understanding how they work, so it is important to understand how they work. Okay, really simple. They work on chaos, division, confusion, killing if they have to. Okay, so you got to understand these guys first. All right, and I'm giving you a quick backdrop here. Now, these guys have been behind just about every world war. Okay, if you go into it, look at it. They funded Hitler. Rockefellers funded Hitler. They funded the other side, which was us, United States, and everyone else. Australia, England, blah blah blah, all get together, bang, big boom, and then they move forward in their objectives. Okay, and the World War One was the same. Okay, and now we're at the end of that 100-year plan, and World War III is on its way, and that's another video. Check out the next video I make on that one. So, okay, going back, all right, so this is what they're doing. They're bringing everything together into one system. That's what they've always wanted. Okay, so what are some of the other methods they use? Yeah, killing. Okay, they have no problem killing. They funded the Bolshevik Revolution. Okay, that resulted in 65 million dead. They funded China, the communist China, by the way. They funded Mao Zedong, the founding father of communist China, the CCP, got his money from central banks. Okay, so on that note, there is no left, there is no right. They fund both. They created it. They created those two paradigms that you have to be this or you have to be that. Reality is humanity is both. But they've gone, up, you're one or the other. Okay, we're both. We're both. We're left and right. We have a bit of both. That's the reality of humanity. So that's trying to give you a quick background on who it is. I'll make a whole nother video on that, as I said. Now, when you understand who it is, okay, they're ruthless, absolutely ruthless. And they'll use whatever tactics they have to, and they'll kill if they have to, okay? And if they need to, they'll put people away, okay? That's what they'll do. So you're not dealing with McDonald's in your country town that's coming in here, who's here to make some money, and you come out there with your picket signs and protests, and then McDonald's runs away, and they go, oh, geez, we've got no customers. That's the reality of why they leave. It's because they realize they have no customers. Okay, we're out of here. Okay, you're not dealing with that. Okay, you got to really get it. Okay, you're not dealing with Scotty. You're not dealing with Dan. Okay, Dan's on his way out. A whole nother video on that. He's off to retire, sit down in the sunset, drink his pina coladas or whatever Dan's going to drink, and he's scot-free. Same with Barry Jicklin. She's off. That's how they work as well, trickery. And meanwhile, people are sitting there going, yeah, you've been fooled. All right, so back to this, protesting. Right, so now you got to understand how serious the people are behind it. Okay, and I'll give you a real simple example. A lot of people out there are saying, we're sovereign, we don't consent, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's not how tyranny works. Tyranny doesn't give a shit. All right, that's the reality. Okay, that is a harsh reality, and if you can't swallow it, you're going to end up taking the jab. Okay, tyranny doesn't care, and I'll give you the example is African slaves taken from Africa. I'm pretty sure they thought they were sovereign. Pretty sure they had their own set of laws. Okay, tyranny came, tyranny took, tyranny does what it wants, and that's what's coming. Okay, these people don't care, and if you still can't see it, well, you're going to get jabbed. That's the reality of it. If you can see it and you're willing to do something, that's where you can come in and talk to us. And we're doing whatever we can to get everyone in communities to get real, though, not protest. Because I'll tell you now. Okay, let's get into protesting. Okay, protesting. Okay, so it doesn't work. We've seen it throughout the pandemic. As I said at the beginning, I actually believe in protesting in old world. I'm a big believer in it. If there's something that's not right, you got to get out there. But when you understand again who's behind it, you've got to understand not only will it not work because they don't care, but these people are so smart. They're expecting it and they're going to use it to their advantage. Okay, so what are they going to do with protesting? Very simple. This is what we said from last year. They will use protesting to vilify the freedom movement. Okay, now eventually someone inside the freedom movement is going to get crazy and do something silly. And we're seeing it already. Okay, people throwing bottles, setting fires, punching on, all kinds of stuff. And if it ain't people actually inside the freedom movement, it's going to be, they'll put a plant inside and that person will do it and it'll be pushed on the freedom movement as being responsible for that. So you can't control those things. That's a mob. It's a mob out there. Okay? And it ain't going to achieve anything either. That's the worst part. So what we do at Guardians of Freedom, we do everything risk, reward, analysis. And the risk is immense with the protest. The reward is none. You're not going to get anything. Okay, so why am I putting this video out there? It's really, I'm concerned that this next protest is going to accelerate their plans, which is to bring in martial law. Okay, bring in restrictions. Bring in a negative image of the freedom movement. And that's what's happening. And people need to start thinking smarter and go, okay, so what do we do different? So imagine we went quiet. We start thinking, we start talking, we start planning. Now they're going to be really worried. They're not worried about the protests. They're expecting it. Okay, and they're planning for it. And they're going to incorporate that into their plans, which is really simple. What they've done now is they've used mind control to control people. From mind control, they've controlled everyone they can. What's next? The next step is really simple. Those that can't be controlled by mind will be controlled physically. Okay? And the protest movement is giving them the ammunition to do it. So, you know what? I'm going to get a lot of hate mail for this, and that's all right. And friends of mine are going to be really pissed off because I've got a lot of friends inside the freedom movement in leadership positions, all right? And I've tried to talk to them to put some logic out there, but you need to make your own logic, all right? So just have to think about it. And not only that, the other thing I'm going to say about the protest movement is it's going to put you in a compromised position. And within our group, we have rules. And the rules are really simple. If you compromise, we don't want to talk to you. Because quite frankly, how do we trust you then? Okay, so you're putting yourself in a compromised position. And what we can see as well with the protests, it's now escalated. And we said this at the beginning. We said at the beginning that eventually what's going to happen is the arrests will start with a half an hour, 2 hour processing and you're out. And then escalated. And we can see it's escalated. We saw Nick Patterson put away for quite a while. We saw Monica Schmidt put away for quite a long time. I think it was over about a month. They updated the domestic terrorism laws at the beginning of this, and they are going to start grabbing people. And what do you think people are going to do when they get faced with domestic terrorism laws and they say, hey, listen, you're going to go to jail for life in a maximum security prison, because that's what they updated the laws to be able to do, or you're going to help us out and give up other people. Okay, so this is what the protest movement is doing. It's falling straight into their trap. All right, so start thinking smarter. Come have a chat to us. Check out our website, and we've got a video conference this Sunday. Come have a chat, guys, and take care out there.